What's going on, family? I have 12 things you can write off of your taxes being an independent LLC as a welder. And I want to give you a few things because I know that when I was honestly started looking for information on how to set my business up, everybody had fees everywhere, ridiculous. And when it goes in depth, you're going to have to pay for specific knowledge. But at least I can give you something that can get your feet wet, that can get you going, at least get you motivated to know, okay, I need to spend my money with these people and not these people, because everybody going to say they got something that can benefit your business, that can help your service, that can help you get out there, blow up, get clients. So you have to keep a level head and you have to know facts. So I'm going to give you 12 things that you can write off as an independent welder that are facts. So if you got an independent LLC starting out and you don't have employees, or you do have employees, this still can benefit you. So I'm going to give you my first rule: your rent. You can write off your rent. So let's say if you just got a straight home-based business and you want to say, man, can I write off my whole rent? Well, technically you can't write off your whole rent, but you can write off 12.5% of your rent if it's completely home-based. So it all depends on how much are you using your home for. But on an average, it's 12.5%. So that's a good percentage each month you can write off of your taxes from your rent. So keep that in mind. Then you have your cell phones. If you have a cell phone for your business, you can write that whole cell phone bill off completely. Vehicles. The way the vehicles go, they changed the laws starting 2000 and last year, I believe, or 2018. I think it was 2018 they changed the laws. So now you have a base pay that they give you for each vehicle you purchase, and you get a bigger allowance, depends on what kind of business you're trying to do. But if you buy the vehicle off, you can write it off. I think for the first 3 years, almost max of what you paid for, just small deductions. And then it goes to a smaller uh, bracket after it's, older, after it's an older vehicle, you'd have had it for a while in business, and then you get a base amount. And I want to say that the base amount after owning an older vehicle for your business is, I believe, $5,000 a year. It's on the average, and then, you can still write off your other things, So the fourth thing would be mileage, which I was just about to say that you can write off your mileage. So you get the government gives you an allowance as far as how much they willing to give you for your mileage. And I believe it's 60 cents a mile or 55 cents a mile. And it's easy, honestly, to keep up your mileage. If you have a vehicle that's designated for work, I would start my keep each year or each quarter of a year, or how you start your year off, just keep up with the mileage from the beginning to the end. Or you can get the little app where it locates every time you go to a job. That way you ain't got to think about it. It's a few different ways to do it that won't make it real complex, because a lot of people like to make things complex. I want to make it simple as possible. Your maintenance on your vehicles. So if you got maintenance fees or changes, something break down, whatever, you can write all of those off. Your insurance, you can write your insurance off. Now, it comes from your personal insurance. I believe you can write a percentage of it off too, because if you're independent, then your insurance on yourself, because you are the business. So you can write off some of that, and you can write off the business insurance. Like if you had to pay $1,500 a year, or $3,000 a year, or $2,500, whatever the situation is. Advertisement, you can write off all of your advertisement. So if you're spending $25, $100, $200 a month on advertisement to keep the business going, you can write all that off. Your website, you can write it off. Your clothes for work. So if you got work clothes, or depends on what type of business that you're in, you can write off your boots, your clothes, all of those. Your tools, you can write off your tools and equipment, different things you need for the job, you can write it off, and it depreciates over a while, but you still can get a nice percentage off of the equipment that you have already purchased. Meetings, when you go into meetings and you're meeting people to actually get certain jobs, and you might want to front the bill or whatever the situation is, you can also write that off. But they did put a cap on that, so you can't go crazy on it. So they got a limit that you can actually go by, because people was taking advantage of it from the past. You got people going out to a meeting, say they spent $100,000, over dinner, so they kind of changed those rules up some. And the last thing that I want to focus on, and this only if you have children. If you have children, and the age range varies on this, but me personally, I'm gonna say about once they're old enough to start being a little bit more responsible, 8 or 9 years old, you can start doing a I-9 form on your children and working for them. And it's actually better for you having your children working for you than you trying to write them off on your taxes because they don't really give you nothing. But your child can make a lot per year and only pay a small amount of taxes, very small. So just say they made 12,000. Just say they made 12,000. They got to pay under $600 in taxes. Think about it. Your child can make 12,000 and pay under $600 in taxes. So, but you have to have them set up properly for the business. Like I say, give them an I-9. So if you got children that's staying with you or a child that's going to school still and they can do, help you clean up around the shop or pick up certain things or organize boats or whatever, because see what it is, whatever job assignment you give them, it got to be due to the age range. So when they get 14, it says 14 to 16, you can have them on some hazardous stuff, but they got to have supervision. And so, you just have to read the codes on that. So you don't want your child doing nothing that is going to get them hurt. But, when we weld, it's a lot of things. Hey, we need a rod person. We need somebody to pick this up. We need someone to go clean up once we get done and wrap everything up. They can just wrap up every day. When you're doing, hey, they the wrap up person. At the end of the job, they come in and clean it up. So it's many ways to benefit. A lot of people get intimidated and starting their business because they believe they got to do all these things and the government going to come and kill them. Nah, listen, the government wants you to be in business. The government wants you to have employees. The government wants you to be a part of the system, benefit the system that way, because the more people you bring into the pot, the more people they can charge. Think about it. That's how the system go. So don't worry about your taxes thinking, oh man, how I'm gonna do this. Find you a good tax person. I would say someone seasoned that been doing it. Don't go to one of those programs where they just put numbers in, because a lot of time they leave a lot of money on the table. I actually did that one time and was able to retrieve, I think, almost a few thousand from someone that did my taxes and messed up. And I went to someone that actually knew what they was doing and they retrieved those few years of the money that I lost. So find you someone reliable, someone seasoned, because just because that certain person don't know don't mean the answer ain't out there. You know what I mean? So those are 12 things you can use. I swear that it helped you. It had benefited me. I'll share one story before I let y'all go. Our first year, me and my wife went independent. We made about 100 grand that year. And in taxes from what we was able to write off that year, this might blow your mind, we paid under $1,000, or right around 1,000. Yeah, it was right around $1,000 on that 100 grand after the things we was able to write off from tools, expensive travels, just several things. So don't worry about that. Most of us getting out starting independent, if we can make anywhere from 25 or 20 to 40 grand a year starting out independently, not working for someone, that's good money. And you don't have to worry about, oh man, how am I gonna pay the taxes? It's not bad, it's not hard. There's a threshold on each one. So by the time you get to the 100 grand, they'll check and make sure and then you got another threshold where they're real serious on. But don't worry about it. If you're not making over 100 grand, your taxes is not going to be terrible. And then once you do get that, there's still different things you can write off. There's different things you can do. So don't worry. Just get started. Hold on.